Some people don't chase the spotlight, they create change quietly. My guest today is one of them, Ms. Ritu Joshi, a mother of two, counselor, and teacher trainer with over 23 years in early childhood education.
Do you think the mothers are very scared to find happiness?
She was happy even before she was a mother.
Children mirror their mother's energy. Do you think unhappy mothers unintentionally raise anxious kids? And how do you protect your child from your bad days?
Yes, I very firmly believe that the energies mothers do pass into children, and if the energies for the emotions which they are passing are not regulated well, it is going to have a very negative impact on the child in the long term. Anxious is a very strong word, so I would not say it is just anxious. There are many multiple emotions which a child can not learn to regulate. If the mother is not regulating these emotions well, Maitri, the way I look at it, the day is never bad. It is a part of the day. See, the day comprises of 24 hours where you're sleeping and you're running into the house. Even a late alarm or a morning can make it a bad day. So it is a moment which is bad. Maybe 5 minutes of your day or maybe 10 minutes of your day. That cannot make your day bad. So the moment a mother can draw a line, no, that moment was bad, and talk to the child also that I had a bad moment today. You know what was my bad moment? Where I was sinking in or I was feeling bad about it. That is not going to impact on the child in a negative way. In fact, the child is going to learn how to regulate your emotions when the moment is bad. And separating the day from the bad moment doesn't make the day bad.
I think because I feel like this kind of happens like a chain reaction. Once you have a bad moment, a bad start to the day, it kind of stretches through the entire day.
But right there, if you bring a paradigm shift in your mind and start believing, see, because you're a mother, you're just not yourself now. You have somebody who is looking at you, learning from you 24/7. You're the boss of the child. So you have a lot of responsibility. So if a parent is dysregulated, the adult is dysregulated, you are not going to have a regulated child. This cannot be an indulgence, parenting. It is a responsibility. So the moment you start thinking like that, no, you have to bring this shift because you are a mother, and whether you wanted to be or you did not want to be, but you are a mother now, planned or unplanned. So you have to, I wouldn't say that you should be very nice to the children, but you need to draw lines now. Because now, after being a mother, you are anyway sensitive. So you cannot let your one moment ruin your whole day because you have to take care of the child. Even if you're having a bad time, you had a fight with your husband, which is the worst which can go wrong in a day. The boss telling you something or some other person saying is not going to matter, but something going wrong. But if this only makes it bad, then automatically your day, if you're going to let it dominate your day, you are not setting the right thing for your child. Because what will happen? The trigger will be everything then. Once you are in that vulnerable position, no, every small thing is going to be a trigger. Let it be not getting the rickshaw. Let it be the if you are heating the milk for the child. Let it be not being in the right temperature. Everything will work as a trigger, and your anger is going to go on the child only, because the punching bag, I'm sorry to use this word, but is the baby, because she or he is not going to react or respond. They are there because for them it is just you. So start, I would suggest to all the mothers, start bringing out or drawing a line to bad moments and not letting it impact the bad days.
So consciously,
Not, you cannot stop it, but consciously keeping it there, parking it there, and asking that how much is it going to affect me? See, if I woke up late, how much is it going to affect me? And what is that I can do to not let it impact my whole day. Just leaving it there, parking it there, and going back to it whenever you want to.
So, there's this idea that a mother's happiness should revolve around the child that's there in the society. And do you think the mothers are very scared to find happiness outside motherhood? As if it means like they're loving their child less.
She was happy even before she was a mother. She is happy even otherwise. And if she is not happy, or if I am not happy myself, how is my child going to be happy around me? So I cannot, and imagine the pressure if a mother thinks like that. Let me give you two perspectives on this. If I start thinking that if I am going to be only happy as a mother, what Yash and Manas we are going to do. Imagine the pressure I'm putting on them. They can't be wrong. Okay? If they are not going to walk 4 steps instead of 3 steps, that is also going to make me sad. Because I'm looking at only them to generate my happiness. That pressure on them is not going to do good to them. Find happiness within yourself. You were happy even before you were a mother. You were happy even before you were a wife. You were happy without a relationship. Small things are giving happiness to you. Smallest of the things are making you happy. You are as a being, as a person. I am Ritu as a person. So I cannot say that my husband makes me happy, my children make me happy. No. So this is pressure to children is how I look at it.
Okay.
Rather than, so come out of it, snap out of it if you're feeling that only my child can give me happiness and I am only a mother now. You are lying to yourself. You are literally lying to yourself. So I would not.
Then recently I have understood that motherhood is just a chapter. It's not the whole story.
Absolutely. You were born not to be a mother. Your parents did not, from the time you were born, tomorrow you're going to be a mother and you're going to have 2 children, 3 children, and this is what you're going to do. No, our parents never put this pressure on us, what you're going to be tomorrow. Mother is a different thing altogether. It is a very important chapter of your life. But it is, as you said, just a chapter of your life. It's not defining you. So your happiness cannot be defined by just being a mother.
Super. Once you become a mother, it is very difficult for you to trust anybody else with your child, especially the in-laws. I have faced it, I know it, I've been through it. For me, it so happened that I had to start trusting them. And now I think I'm in a position that I know I can blindly trust my child with them. Currently, I see a lot of mothers not still able to trust their in-laws or any caregivers for that matter. And that I think makes it very, very difficult for a mother to confidently restart the journey. How do you learn to build that trust, especially with the in-laws?
See, this is your baby, your own baby. So you are responsible. I am responsible about my children, 100%. When I reflect into my own story, it was my father-in-law who told me that, Ritu, what are you doing with your life? Come out and start working. You cannot waste your life like this. So it was him who actually pulled me out of the house, of the comfort zone. I was not pregnant, I didn't have my children till then. But yet he was the one who pulled me out. They were the ones due to whom I am able to do what I am able to do today. This is my story. But yes, my children were my responsibility even then. So for mothers who are not in a position or thinking that how do I trust my in-laws, we need to understand and we need to accept the fact that this is definitely your responsibility. So you cannot give this responsibility to others. No. You can have help. You can have people who are there to support you. Number 1. Number 2 is you need to trust them. And these are the people to whom this child belongs. This is even their baby. This is even their grandchild. This is not just your baby. So there is a different perspective to this. I strongly believe that this child, my children belong to my husband also, my in-laws also, my parents also. So when there is a child being brought up, you need the whole village to bring up a child. So when you are asking for help, see what is our problem, Maitri? We feel that I can do everything
Correct.
and I know everything. You are the first time mother. But we always feel that I can wear all kinds of hat. I'm going to finish the kitchen also. I'm going to do everything. But we forget the fact that we have help around. And if you are going to show this trust on them, that mummy, please take care. See, even if you want to go for a walk, no, you need help. You want to go for a coffee with your husband, you need somebody to keep your child. So start when they are young. Start when it is easy. Because at 6 months, at 3 months, it's easy to keep a baby. At later stage, it becomes challenging. So make it a habit and don't keep, if you're working, if you go out and work, right? So if you're working, keep calling them, but call them to ask if everything is okay. Did he eat? Did he have a bath? Has he not watched screen? Did he do this? So don't do conditional expectation. Don't keep conditional expectation is what I would feel. And this is what I've practiced also. I cannot put rules and regulations when I am not present.
Correct.
That, he does not have to do this. He cannot watch screen for so many hours. He has to have 2 rotis and this much vegetable and this much dal. You have to trust this person because the in-laws, they are also his or her grandparents and they feel good for the child.
Right.
They love this baby more than their own son. So they are not going to mess around with this baby. So trust, keep in touch, but remember it is your responsibility, not theirs.
Correct. So when there are women or mothers who are working, for a child, for them it's very easy to take their mother as only a caregiver. How do you ensure that your child also knows that my mommy has dreams, my mommy has goals at this young age?
We all have dreams and goals. The dreams and goals cannot be big. You planning a dinner is also a dream. That on Saturday I'm going to go out for dinner with my friends. You planning a walk is also a dream and a goal that tomorrow evening 6 p.m. I'm going to go for a walk. We are going to a garden to play is also a goal and a dream. So start talking about these dreams and these goals with your children that tomorrow mama is going to go for dinner and mama is going to have a very good time. I want to do that. See, we had a habit of maintaining a calendar, Maitri. This is a calendar I've maintained with my children almost till my kids, they're both 5 and 7 years old. And now we are not physically maintaining it, but we have a mental note of it because it is in us now, where we would mark the calendars that on this day we are going for a movie, on this day mama is going for a dinner, or on this day mama is going somewhere out, or on this day we are going for a holiday, we are going to Nani's house. So this is like a small dream from that, and mummy is very happy when mama is doing this. We are looking forward to it. From that mama has this project and mama is so happy, and whatever mama is going to get out of this project, we are going to do this. Whatever mama is going to get out of this consultation, mama is going to invest here, and tomorrow we are going to do this. So I feel that making them a part of this, and from the beginning, you need to talk to your child is what I feel. Because they are anyway seeing you. They are seeing you 24/7. The way they see you, nobody else can see you that way. The way you know your mom, no? You will listen to the hello and you will know that she's not okay. Because who knows our mother better than us? So who is going to know us better than our children? Anyways, they are a witness. So make them start verbal sharing with them, where you are talking about every small thing. From small, bring it to a larger chapter and larger
Use as a gradual thing.
gradual thing. You cannot suddenly say that, you know what, mama wants to, I want 10 schools.
Right.
Where did this come from? Yeah, so I feel, so even there, that, you know, tomorrow you're going to do this and we are looking forward to you doing your exams well, or you have your recitation, so you're going to do that well. Everything is like a goal. You have your basketball match and you're going to do well. Not putting pressure, but just planning that.
Right. So right now when you're telling this, when I joined the Dots Pack, the first time when I'd come here to this studio, I had Adam with me, my child, my mother, and my mother-in-law. And I explained Adam everything. See, Mama's going to be sitting here. Do you know who's going to be sitting on this chair? So he asked me curiously, oh, Mama, who is it going to be? I said, Ritu ma'am. And he could immediately relate, oh, Ritu ma'am is going to come here. So today, while I was leaving, I had a very nice talk with him in the morning. I was like, you know, remember, we've been to the studio. Mama's going to be there. And who's going to be there along with Mama? And he immediately said, Ritu.
Oh, how nice.
He wished me all the best. He gave me a hug. And now, when I have to travel for my work, this is one habit which I consciously made him follow. For me is when Mama comes back, you ask, Mama, how was your day? How was your event? How was your session? So now he ensures that he actually asks me, Mama, how was your day? How did the event go? So for me, I think, yeah, when you were
Indri, you would also be asking him, no? How was your day? How was your school?
correct.
How was your birthday party? It is reflection. Say, there are mirror neurons which get created in the brain, which is going to reflect exactly what you are doing. So, whatever you are doing, he is going to do that. He is one child who is going to always mirror whatever you are talking, whatever you are practicing, whatever the way you are regulating, the way you are sitting, the way you walk in the house. He is. So, this is a great practice. Very nice.
Thank you. Do you think we live in a society where the moms are conditioned to choose guilt over growth?
I associate guilt and fear together. I feel that everybody is guilty about something or the other, because we are losing something to gain something. Every single day, there is a fight. Now, how much you are letting the guilt overpower is where everything lies. So, yes, I do see a lot of mothers around me who feel responsible solely about the child, and they do not indulge into equipping themselves to grow further. I have known so many doctors also. See, I run a school. It's been 16 years. I'm associated with parents. It's been 23 years. I've come across mothers who are doctors, Maitri. I've come across mothers who are chartered accountants and who don't practice because they feel that my child needs me more.
Right.
Imagine a doctor and a chartered accountant. It's by choice. See, if it is by choice, it's a different thing altogether. A lot of women don't have, the visions are very different. If the vision is to just be a mother, but then also they are doing something about themselves. Like, for example, I have a friend who is not doing something which is like a profession, but she is making it sure that she takes dance sessions, she gets into workshops on dancing. But then back of the mind, the guilt is there. But with the guilt, overpowering that guilt and looking at that what is going to help me out, and I grow and I make it sure that I'm also doing something for my own self, is I feel very important. Whether you're doing something as small as spending time with your own self by reading something or by going out and working. Because if you're going to be static, you're choking yourself. Because this is not you.
Yeah.
This is not you. This is not what you are meant to be.
Right. I think that phase when I had a break after I had my baby, 6 months I was not working. And a person like me who's always been career driven, it was very, very difficult to manage those 6 months. Of course, I knew I'm there physically with my child, but mentally I was absent most of the time because I know there was something in me which is not satisfying me towards the end of the day.
Because we are not, see, when you are built in a particular way, your practices have been a particular way, you will not be happy, Maitri. You get this happiness by doing something out. When you're moving outside and giving, see, you also work with children. You work with children. So that was giving you a completeness. That was making you complete as a person. That was your complete circle, which is going to be missing, and you will be a frustrated person in the house. This child is not going to get the real you. It is going to be an unhappy you. I've even seen mothers who keep saying that because of you, I've stopped this and that.
Yeah.
I know so many moms. But the baby did not ask you to do that. But there are. So you are going to tomorrow blame this child only for this. Because it's a very easy place to, because he is very vulnerable. So it's very easy that you go and punch. So yeah.
So for all the career-driven women, we have goals, like bigger goals, life goals, and then we have kids as well. Both of them are equally very, very important to us. How do we ensure that we are still emotionally connected to our children? They are emotionally connected to us while we are still chasing our goals.
See, the goals which we have, we know what are the goals which we have. The child is born and your life is changing. Making the child a part of this goal is the best way, I would say, that one mother can do. I'm trying to reflect on what I did. Because before my marriage, or when I got married, to be very frank, I did not have any vision that I'm going to do this and that. But once I started working, then I wanted my preschool. So my children were always a part of my dream that tomorrow I'm going to have a preschool. It's going to be my own school. So I think making children a part of it and making them proud of what you're doing, making it a part of you, that mama is tomorrow going to, even if you've taken a break, Medri, mama is tomorrow going to go out and work. Cannot tell them that, cannot prepare them. But, giving half an hour to yourself every day that mama is preparing or mama is working right now and mama is doing something which is going to help mama tomorrow, or mama is walking. Simple walking. Mama is walking. Because even if you are in the house, you've taken a break, yet you can keep practicing for that half an hour, 1 hour, giving yourself that time, because otherwise you'll be outdated. If you take this break, you're going to be outdated in no time. In 2 months, the industry is changing. So keep reading about it, where you are telling your child in very fine words, it's mama's time and mama is doing mama's work. I feel that way also the child can be emotionally connected, and making the child aware of that you are doing your work, you're playing, it's your playtime and you are doing this. Even when you're working in the kitchen, it's mama's work time. Giving even respect to that. You don't come right now. Go away from here. It's mama's time. No, not something like that. Engaging your child in something which the child likes to do, and parallelly continuing with what you are doing.
But how much of a quality time, if a mother gives the child, that is going to make the child absolutely okay?
Quality time, I would first like to define what is quality time. Quality time is a time where you are your complete self. Your mind is fresh, you are happy, you are in the mood to sit with the child with a lot of patience, and you are not going to be with your phone. You are not going to run when the bell is ringing in the house. So 15 minutes of such time with children, no matter what age, is good enough.
Only 15 minutes?
Yeah, maximum. How much do you feel that the child is going to sit with you doing nothing? See, engagement where you are not expecting something out of your child. As a human and as a mother, you also will not be able to restrict yourself for more than 10 to 15 minutes. Because if you are going to dance with your child, no, you will start dancing happily. Let's dance. And you are telling yourself that I'm not going to expect anything out of it, because you want this time to connect with him. I'm talking about a very young kid, 1.5 year old child. In the matter of 5-7 minutes, you will feel, do what I'm doing. You know, what is mama doing? Mama is flapping the hands and mama is doing this. So you will start expecting. So the moment you feel that now you are getting from a quality time to expectation time, switch the game. Let's play catch catch. Or let's do something which you like. Let's do painting. Now, whenever you're sitting with the child for this, it should be what the child likes to do and however the child wants to do. And this is the best time where you can start talking. You know, what was my quality time with my children? Drives. Going for a drive. The child is sitting next to me. Best time, because you are at your best. The child is at her or his best. Because I love to drive. You need to like driving. I love driving. So that was my best quality time that I used to spend with them. When I would go to pick them up from the school, we would take always a longer route and come back home. Specifically when I was a little off, I would make it sure we take a longer route. Whenever I knew that Yash or Manasi, either of them had a tough day. You know, there are a few lengthy days and I know which period they don't like. There was a test, what is going to happen. I would make it sure that it is a longer route when we come back. And then we would reach home. So we reach home happily.
Wow.
And then whatever we have to do, we follow. So this is something which my both children even like today. Because this is a practice. So you can have some rituals of such quality time where we are going to do this. On Monday, we are going to do this. On Tuesday, we are going to do this. Even walk to the garden. You know, there the child is going to hold your hand. There is no option, no? You are either going to carry your... So even this conversation, I would always want moms to talk to their children. Talking is very important, Maitri. Because if you're going to talk to them, then the child is going to understand you better. And then the child is going to know that, oh, my mother is also sad. My mother can also be angry. I have vented out during my quality time with children. I have broken down. I have done so many things. But where they would also know that it's okay, this in the quality time I can talk. So even they would come home and tell, you know what, this child did this to me. This girl did this to me. This teacher spoke to me like that. This auntie, you know, she was looking at me like that. So because I was also doing that. So maybe that is the reason why they started talking to me about it. But use the quality time with the best. Being around the child is not quality time. 24 hours.
So according to you, what are those number of minutes that a child requires?
15 to 30 minutes definitely a child requires. A child requires the best time also. I would always suggest that mothers should give a bath morning or evening, because that is a time they are anyways happy. They love water. Yes. They love to play. So this is going to make them very happy. One meal a mother should feed, either of the meal. If they are not in a position, then even on the weekends, make it sure you're feeding a meal to the child, which is not supposed to be a war zone,
Right.
but a happy time, and putting the child to sleep. These are the three very important time which a mother can spend with quality with the child.
That compensates that.
Compensates, absolutely, because you are at your complete self, no? When you are going to bed and you're giving a bath to the child. So water, the sound of water only soothes us so much. So automatically everything gets into place. Avoid if something is disturbing. If food is a very big issue for you, avoid that. But bathing and putting the child to sleep at least once in a day. Also, I would like to add here, Madri, when the child is coming back from school, no, your voice to be heard. That, Agam, how was your day? Mama's day is going very well. I will see him in the evening. Let him not reply.
Okay.
Let him not reply. Anybody who's going to pick the child up, no, ask this person to just let your voice reach Aga. That, Aga, my day is going fine. And I will see you in the evening. I'm waiting to see you. Bye.
I think you had this with your children as well, right?
Till date. We communication. I have practiced communication with Yash Manasvi a lot. Because they should know what is happening in my life. I should. It is not I should know, but I feel they should know. What am I doing? Am I happy? What is happening with me? I like to connect with them for everything. They are my go-to people. Even I was going to come here. I went through everything with Yash and Manasvi both. You can call them my best friends. I go to them for separate things. For Manasvi, I go to Manasvi for very separate reasons, different reasons. To Yash for different reasons. But we have this bond, this connect. Even they come to me for specific things. So it's created like that. And maybe because I made them a part of me always.
Yeah.
So for Manasvi, if it was not for Manasvi, I wouldn't have Little Looks. She, me, and Yash, we saw Little Looks as a dream. There was no name then that Mama will have a school. And there was something which happened with my previous school, and I was out of it. And it was with Manasvi's push that why are you sitting? You were so happy when you were working. So do you want to see that? Manasvi, this is 2007. So Manasvi was 8 years old. Just 8 years old. And you need to work. You please work.
Wow.
Sit with your computer, mama. Do your curriculum. Why are you not doing? Why are you not having a school? Why do you not have a school? And it was because of that what I'm doing today. So because from the beginning, I made her a part, and our quality time also is about talking. It is not about creating something. It's just talking, sharing, happiness, sadness.
It's very deep, very deep. Right now, when you just mentioned that you broke in front of your kids, is it okay to cry in front of your child, or is it brave, or is it forbidden?
If it is okay for you to have your child cry in front of you, it is okay for a mother also to cry in front of the child, because you have to normalize no crying. Why is crying a big thing? Crying is an emotion which is coming out through tears. And whenever you're going to cry, Maitri, whenever I cry, I feel very light after it. Not to develop a habit that cry all the time, but crying is something which is a part of you. We are women. We are going to cry so easily. So I am okay to cry in front of my children. I have broken down several times. I have wept. I would not say cried. I have wept. And they have been the best anchor to me whenever I have broken down. Then, Mama, we are there. Mama, we understand. Mama, this is where you are wrong. And believe it or not, Maitri, it is only your children who will tell you no that you are wrong. You will be able to listen to it. No third party telling you that Maitri, you are wrong here. It is going to get into our ego. So that is the best place, no, to crying. But you don't have to keep crying and keep over everything that, she did this and she did that and I'm crying. No. Then you need to regulate it also properly. You need to give a closure also about it properly. If you're doing in a position to do that, then it is perfectly good.
Since you've been counseling for over many years now, almost 2 decades, have you come across any case where a mother whom you've known is extremely focused on her career, but because of societal norms or family pressure or peer pressure, they were not able to get back to their work, and that somewhere reflected on the child who comes to the school?
So many. This girl, this woman is not going to be happy. And I have known so many mothers who want to work, who want to do something for themselves. But not just societal pressure, the pressure from the house, the pressure from the family, or her own conditions which she has inside her mind are not letting her step out, and she is in that cage, getting suffocated to the fullest. And imagine when you are suffocating yourself, you are fire. You are always fire. See, we have our menstruational cycle, Maitri. So, anyways, our hormones are playing around with us, our mind, our body, everything. Today we are looking very nice, tomorrow we are going to look bloated. Today we have a good hair day, tomorrow we do not have a good hair day. Today we are having the body which is in one piece, no pain. Tomorrow we are going to have some pain somewhere. So, anyways, we are fighting with that. On top of it, you're fighting with your own dreams. You're fighting with your own vision. You are talking. See, there is a voice within us which is there constant. There is a voice which it is a talking voice which you are pressing it down. No, I'm a mother. No, I'm a mother. Then this baby, the expectation which you will have from this child are going to be like too much. Because these mothers, then they will want to see everything the child do. You have to be the best dancer, the best singer, you need to write very nicely, you have to score very nicely because I have given up my career for you,
Right.
and you better do it. So, out of this, neither is a child going to benefit, neither are you going to benefit. Here, I would say this is going to make the child anxious for everything. The confidence level in the child is not going to be there. The child is going to have double personalities, something in front of the mother, something outside. These children turn out to be bullies. So whenever I come across children, the backstory is something like this one, where the mother is not living herself and trying to dominate and push everything on the child, expecting too many things out of a kid. 19 and a half, where is this half mark born? And that push, is too much because she is creative. She is intellectual. She is in the capacity to do so many things. So her project becomes the child. The project becomes, if two children, benefit of both the children, that half. Otherwise, if it is one child, the project is a child. Or the project becomes a house. So it's too much pressure on the
Even the end result of a mother's unhealthy state of mind, it kind of reflects from the child's behavior.
Absolutely.
What are certain traits that such children go through?
You will not see them happy, number one. Number two, they are not in a position to regulate their emotions. They will be fidgeting. I will talk about the younger children.
Yeah.
The 2 years, 3 years, they fidget a lot. They will fidget a lot. They will fidget with the child sitting next to them. You will see them cry very easily. There are two kinds of children which come out of this. Any story, anything, any emotional story or happening in front of them, they will give in very easily. They break down very easily. This is one kind of children. The other kind of children, they will hit. They will push. They will scratch. They will do everything which they are not supposed to do. Everything. And they are too physical. And they enjoy also doing this. They get some different pleasure out of doing this. It is as if they will come to the class thinking that today this boy. They target children and come to the class. And 75 to 80% of the time, after talking to these parents, we've concluded that the mother is not happy. The mother is not happy.
So you mean to see the mother's mental health more than the father's mental health, it affects it.
See, the fathers and the mothers are very two different parents to a child. Whatever the mother is going to talk to the child, so there is again a flip to this. If a mother is going to rant on a child or get too angry on a child or say things which one should not say, the child will heal much quicker.
Okay.
But if a father, because father is the epitome of power and strength, this is the way the child looks at the dad. You also look at your father, I'm sure, the same way. I also look at my father, epitome of power and strength, in spite of my mother being the epitome of power and strength, okay? If I look at my parents, my mother is a very strong woman, very strong woman. If I look at my father is a very gentle father. But yet, if my father is going to say something to me, it affects me. Oh my God. If mother is going to tell me something, it doesn't matter. Similarly with children also here. But when the mother is not happy, that is a different state altogether. Then the mother is not herself. No matter what we talk about society, it is a male oriented world. I had seen I cannot put a statement that mothers compromise and fathers don't. I see now even the fathers are equally compromising, but they are living with their parents. So if he has a fight with you, he has somebody else in the house to go to. Yeah? You are facing your own battles every single day from the time you're waking up. This is your house, this is your place, but you are fighting your own battles. So, happiness he's getting. You are discovering your happiness now and again. So, when you are not happy or you are not emotionally satisfied, that is going to reflect on you because you are not getting that safe space in the house.
Right.
Your safe space is your child only. No matter a mother is going to slap a child left, right, center, the child is going to cry mama only. The child is going to go to mama on. The child is not going to go to papa. Now we are seeing that there is a equal balance with children are also choosing the right person at the right time. They're very manipulative. Let's not go there. But if a mother is not happy, it is not going to do good to the family. It's not going to do, not just the child, it's not going to do good to the family. Because she will have fights with the husband. The husband will be unhappy. And then the whole house is unhappy automatically. And when you are going to get angry on your child, Maitri, you feel bad. You feel so guilty about it. Totally. So guilty. And this guilt is even worse.
Right. Is there any one message that you would want to give it to the mothers for facing a real difficult time in taking that first step for themselves?
Why are you stopping yourself from being what you are? It is necessary that you cannot lose your own self. See, Maitri, for me, it is very different. I will tell you how. My mother, when I was growing up, her first love was herself. And she's 75 now. So ever since I was a child, I have seen that her first priority has been herself. So my role model has always been my mom. And everyone, for this matter of fact, it is going to be their mother, the role model. So she never lost herself, whether we were not well, whether we had our exams. Her routine was never disturbed. She was not a working woman, but she had her routine that this is a time of me going to the temple. This is my time of doing my part. This is my time of doing this. So she had her routine, which was never, nothing on this earth could disturb it. Okay. So for me, it has always been that no, I am going to be first. And always on talking with her, she would always say that if I am not going to love myself, or I am not going to be there for myself, or do things which are making me happy, how am I going to be happy? And how am I going to give that respect to others? And how will anybody else respect me or my talent? Yeah. So, all the mothers, whatever that you are liking to do, whatever that you are, whatever you did before you were a mother or before you were a wife, why are you stopping to do that? At least read about it. At least be in touch with it. Don't leave your work friends. Be in touch with your work friends. Have this group which is yet going on. Keep meeting them occasionally. Keep learning what is happening at your workplace. And keep in touch with your own self. Do that hobbies which bring happiness to you. It is not necessary that you only work. So small hobbies that you have, which you did earlier, keep in touch with it. Don't lose yourself. So I would always urge to all the mothers that don't lose yourself. Rediscover yourself time and again. Bring this change in yourself time and again. And learn and unlearn time and again.
So now comes the becoming round, where you have to be very raw, relatable, full of love, be very fast, and fun questions for our mother. Which one felt like a bigger achievement? Your kid eating a vegetable, or you able to finish your tea while it's still hot?
Vegetable. I would yet feel very happy when they finish their meal.
Because I know you're a tea lover. Yeah. But still. Okay. What's the most creative excuse you've used to skip playing pretend games with your child?
We used to play pretend games. I would say I'm pretending to sleep and you pretend to play. So it worked, Midri. Yeah. 10 minutes, 15 minutes at least I got that piece.
Oh, nice. Have you ever pretended to be asleep so someone else handles the crying baby?
So many times with my husband only. Without him, it was not possible.
If you could have outsourced one mom duty forever, which one would it?
Kitchen. Cooking for the baby.
Correct.
Oh my god. Yes. I wish I had somebody then.
What's the most useless advice you ever received as a mom?
You are the only person for your child, Ritu. There can be nothing beyond you. Oh, hello, no.
Have you ever been judged for being too ambitious as a mom?
Yes, so many times by my own friends.
And how would you cope with that?
I had my husband who supported me a lot, and my in-laws, my parents.
Wow.
So I have a very strong community around me, my friends, who just, because I can picture it right in front of my eyes that once Yash did not get good marks, and one of my friend told me that, how na Ritu, you are the working na, so it is going to happen, no? Hello, oh no. Yeah.
Which one needs more patience? Marriage or motherhood?
Marriage. Because this is something which is you.
Right.
They understand you, they forgive you.
Correct.
Yeah, so marriage.
One stereotype about moms that you secretly enjoy doing now.
Again, I would say the same thing. I can do it all.
And you be going home.
Yeah, totally.
Okay, 5 minutes of silence or 5 minutes of scrolling?
Silence. I love to meditate.
Super. Being artistic or being appreciated?
Understood?
Your current definition of success as a mom?
My current definition of success. This cannot be on a rapid fire round. Yeah. Sharing the failures with my children.
Your current definition of success as a mom?
Sharing my failures with them. Sharing my burnouts with them. Sharing me as a person with them. Making them a part of what I am. It's a teamwork. See, if a mother is working, you cannot alone work. It is a teamwork. You need the community to work with you. You need people to be there for you. So, making it a teamwork is what I would do.
Becoming again for me is turning my challenges into lessons and lessons into strength. According to you, what is becoming again in one night?
To rediscover yourself and to rise and to bring change. Be resilient, I would say. Not to be the same is what.
Super. Thank you so much.